Look at that.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
Crazy cool.
I've never seen anything like this.
Could this be the most stunning view in the Flinders Ranges? Ride with us along the ridgelines of Arkaroola, where every turn reveals a new horizon. Where rain is rare, yet hailstorms can appear in an instant. And where history lingers in the ruins of the Outback.
If you're scared of heights, it might be a little bit freaky for you.
We left Mount G behind us. For the next minute or two, we got some amazing views of Mount Painter here on our right.
It was incredible to have 360-degree views of all of these different ranges. As far as the eye could see on one side, you just kept seeing range after range with the sunlight hitting each one differently. So some were in shadow, some were in full sun. It was absolutely epic.
How's that rock on the right?
That is the Split Rock.
That's magnificent.
You basically come up the hill and then you turn to the left and you go between these two big rocks and then it exposes another valley. So it's like, wow, wow, wow.
I've never seen anything like this. In fact, I'm like thinking I want to give Aaron the drive so I can have a look.
It's hard to drive when there's all that scenery around, and especially one thing you have to remember that you're on the side of a mountain. And if you drove off it, you'd probably be seeing sky ground for about 5 minutes until you stop. So it would not end well.
It's extreme outback and it's extreme four-wheel driving. It was awesome.
No matter what kinds of photos you took, you always were guaranteed a good result.
One of us gets to enjoy the view, one of us gets to drive, and then we switch.
It's perfect.
Got to get out here, put it on your bucket list, take the effort, bring the family, bring the van and see it for yourself. Coming up over another ridge here and we'll see what kind of vista awaits. I'm disappointed we're only spending 3 days here. I reckon you could spend a week and obviously some people could spend a lifetime.
We couldn't have picked a better day and time to be up here, I don't think. But then we come to a section where it was again quite a steep descent, probably one of the longer ones of the day and quite a strong angle. Luckily it wasn't too slippery or anything that day. We'd had rain on various days. It was still slippery, but not too bad. Just this really long, careful decline down.
Just let it do its own thing and rely on the engine braking, don't even touch the brakes, and she just quietly creeps down.
So focused.
A little bit of a step, just light on the brakes, letting the first gear drive it down. Nice and easy.
Alrighty drivers, welcome to the delightful Tedium Hill, and nothing too remarkable about it, it's just rather long.
It's a pretty impressive gorge off to our left here, just drops away, very steep, you'd want to be really careful.
As someone who didn't have a driver to switch with, I'd love to come back and be the passenger one day so I can just hang my head out the window the whole time. Obviously I was a bit conflicted between concentrating on the road and taking in the views.
Holy moly. Keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah,
Don't drive off the cliff. I need adjectives, Dan. What am I missing?
But we were travelling at a nice sensible speed, so I was still able to take a lot of it in.
James, you mentioned as we got round here onto the lee side of the hill, we'd see a few more trees, but I'm actually shocked to see gum trees up this high.
Indeed, look a bit out of place. This is the gumbark coolabah. It's like a less thirsty river red gum. What they're doing on an arid mountainside is beyond me, but they hang on.
There's the climb to the final peak, guys. How does that look?
You look at it from here and wonder how we're going to get there. From here it looks almost unattainable. It's going to be quite the journey just to that final peak.
This is the grand final, is it? The pinnacle, the crescendo of a fantastic drive.
Crescendo.
It's a fantastic climb and it's awesome that the sun's come out again. In true form, you look in the opposite direction. It's dark
Dark and
shadow.
completely opposite.
climbing well. My God, have a look at the views.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I want to do this all the time.
Oh man, it looks like we're climbing a spine to the top of nowhere.
You basically are.
Oh guys, wait till you get here. Wait. That is crazy.
The Ridgetop track, you're going through a diverse landscape, but Sillers Lookout's the culmination of it.
We got to see Sillers Lookout. It was like, oh my God, we're going up there? This is a bit hairy. Pretty big drop on all three sides if you don't quite get this right.
It was really, really tight up there. It was only quite a small area. They had a small fence around it, 300-metre drop if you went too far.
And the Gladiator's a long vehicle. I had to park as close to the wire fence right by the drop as possible.
You've got to get the branded car up there, right? I was quietly crapping myself because while it may be a little bit steeper than the hills we'd been driving up, you've only got a couple of cars room at the top and there's no barriers. It was absolutely daunting. I had the car in 4-low, first gear. I also put the diff lock on just for a bit of safety.
Where's my guide on how to turn around?
We need guidance.
James, he was going to be our parking coordinator. He's a bit overqualified for the job.
Now me and that diff lock, we don't get on. The bloody thing wouldn't turn off. So here I am trying to do a 5-point turn with the damn diff lock on.
That was a cushion.
That was nerve-wracking, I'll be honest.
He did well, he did really good.
Had to be quite careful getting the vehicles up there. Given the way that the Arkaroola ranges are, where the valleys are quite low as well, it just seemed to exaggerate the height you were at, made it feel like you're even higher up than you actually were, but still at an incredible height. And it was just breathtaking, absolutely amazing. Just an amazing spot, really worth the journey.
I was pretty much the last vehicle up. Just like going off like an Evel Knievel ramp. Just got steeper and steeper and steeper and steeper, and you go up, and I'm looking over the bonnet at pretty much blue sky. I had James there in front of me, sort of indicating how far, because I had to tuck right in close to the fence.
James was able to manoeuvre everyone, so we had 4 cars up there at once. The rest of us had to leg it by foot.
Quite noticeable initially when we got there. Everyone was sort of pretty quiet, everyone just taking it in, just in awe of it.
360-degree panoramic views of mountain ranges upon mountain ranges.
You can see across the plains out to Lake Frome, beyond that to the Strzelecki Desert, and you can also see to the north end of Arkaroola, which is another 50 kilometres further north.
Just breathtaking. Like, literally, it was a moment where you sort of felt like you're on the top of the world.
It was incredible to spend time with the crew up there and to be able to see that experience for ourselves.
You want one?
It was pretty touching.
Where you had a really steep ascent, now you've got a really steep descent. And it's just as tricky going down as what it is going up. Just makes you realise how small you really are, because now you can see the other way, 180 degrees around, and it's just as magnificent in that direction. Having the different light as the sun was going down at that stage, the different colours that you get, what an adventure, it was awesome.
Check out that view on the right there, that's fantastic. Better watch the road though, it's a fairly long way down if I get it wrong. A little bit of loose rock, nothing too complicated. Let the car do its thing. And here we are, lunchtime. I'm hungry, 3 o'clock, definitely hungry.
While everyone's up there, but we cooked up a heap of sausages for everyone. Finally starting to cook. We had some hot sauce and some normal tomato sauce in bits of bread. What a way to eat your lunch, it was just awesome.
Very good. And after a good feed, it was time to head back.
As we're driving, you could see a really black cloud of brewing up, and it was slowly moving across. It just got darker and darker, and then all of a sudden...
As we were sitting on Sillers Peak, you could see some really dark clouds starting to form in the distance. And we actually said to ourselves, okay, now is the time to go. So we all jumped in our vehicles and decided to head back. We only made it probably about 5 kilometres, if that, and the heavens opened, which after having a chat to James when we got back, told us it was literally the 3rd time that has rained this year.
Started off small and then just went up to a crescendo, and we're actually getting hail. The ground that was damp from the previous day's rain, now the wheel tracks had water flowing through them. A unique experience. It made the driving a bit more exciting, coming down those steep rock faces. A few of the people were a little bit concerned that without diff locks and the heavy all-terrain tyres, it was going to be a challenge.
Yeah, we were lucky that we didn't bring the Defender past that other point. I was a little bit hesitant, especially on the steep descents. Just put it in real low range, and in that Hilux, which was pretty stock standard, it was quite bumpy, and we were sort of blaming Jess for the bumps. Not her fault.
Go Jess.
This is the best bit.
It was really nice. It added just this whole other mystique to the place. I couldn't help but wind my window down, even though the rain was coming in the car a bit.
It's just too beautiful. It's a good thing I got waterproof canvas seat covers on board.
Cue to 3 minutes later, the skies had cleared up and all that was left was puddles along the ground and some hail along the side of the road. So it cleared very quickly, but definitely caught us off guard.
It got pretty wet and wild there. Can't blame me, I'm from WA. Does rain lots there, so must have been one of the eastern staters.
We ended up making it back to Arkaroola with plenty of time to spare. And while the rest of us freshen up, David's taking the time to meet the fluffy locals.
We've got our yellow-footed rock wallabies that come in every day. They're really quite intelligent animals.
Quite rare and endangered. In one of the few places you can actually see them. Got to whisper a bit quiet because they are a little bit skittish, and any sudden movements they tend to disappear real quick, but they're cute.
So we had a quick drink, everybody went and got changed and showered and freshened up, and we all met around the swimming pool, and it rained.
The heavens have unloaded. It is now really pouring hard. And the guys had fire pits out for us. The plan was we were all going to sit around the fire pits and keep warm because it really chilled up.
The restaurant was actually closed this evening. The team there put on a massive barbecue for all their guests. It was a little bit of a different treat to what we'd had every other night, and they had set up outside so beautifully.
Yeah, we stood around the fire and had a chat to some of the other grey nomads staying there. What do I mean other? How much grey do I have?
Arkaroola itself, amazing place. All the staff were lovely, food was fantastic, the rooms beautiful and clean, even the spots where the caravans were. Honestly, I don't think there's a wrong choice you can make depending on your style of travel. Amazing facilities, beautiful staff, you can get fuel, everyone was so friendly. You can see there's a genuine passion for the place across all the staff. Yeah, just cannot recommend it enough.
And then it cleared away, and we got to sit around the fire pits for a little while before we all retired again.
It was a bit sad because that was going to be our last night at Arkaroola.
Everything that begins comes to an end, and that trip at Arkaroola came to an end that night. We had a beautiful dinner, congregated again, and then made our plans for the next transit across to Warraweena station.
Well, good morning everybody. It's day 4 of the fantastic Your 4x4 adventure, exploring the northern reaches of the beautiful Flinders Ranges. I hope you've all enjoyed the beautiful facilities and stunning sights of Arkaroola.
3 days does not give it justice. It is a fantastic place to visit. We've only just sort of scratched the surface of the place, so I'll definitely come back.
A bit of a highlight for us on the way out, guys, is the scenery. Then number 2 will be the pub of Beltana, and then number 3 will be the adventure, the challenge of the mud. We had a huge dump of rain overnight.
We're absolutely stoked dragging this full off-road Eau Claire caravan behind us and see how she performs on those mud tracks.
Hey David, I reckon that the caravan isn't going to be the problem getting through all the mud. It's going to be that Defender with highway tyres on it.
Yes, I think you're spot on there, Simon, so don't let us out of your sight just in case we do get stuck, okay?
We've headed out the same way we've come in. Pretty smooth drive, all things considered, and just on our way to the next spot.
Jess, it's Dave. How does the Eau Claire caravan look?
It is looking sparkling green with that Daintree colour against the red backdrop. The caravan itself looks pretty stable to drive behind, to be honest. It's looking pretty good from where I'm sitting.
Thanks for that, Jess.
The inland road that we were going to take was still closed. Obviously the extra rain is going to be a major problem. And the track into Warraweena, there was concerns about whether or not that was going to be closed because that was going to be a potentially fair bit of mud driving.
The roads were a little bit wet. There was definitely some rather large puddles in the middle of the road.
Sorry, Paul!
I didn't think you did that just on purpose.
I'm so sorry, Paul, if I got you.
Everybody got me, but the camera's good, so I'm good.
Once we found ourselves to the blacktop, we basically cruised along the highway.
Guys, just pulling into Beltana now. Wow, look at these old buildings. It looks amazing.
It's just like hitting a time warp, mate, and going back in time. It's definitely got its own little chic and vibe to it. Definitely keen to get in here and have a look.
Yeah, there's a Royal Victoria Hotel on our left. Let's find somewhere to park. We'll go in and check it out.
It's so captivating.
The Royal Victoria Hotel here in Beltana has been painstakingly restored over the last 2 years, and it's well worth a visit.
It was incredible to see the amount of effort they'd put in, not only to restore it back to its former glory, but to make sure that the history was really brought to life across all of the walls. There was so much rich history in those rooms.
It takes your mind back and makes you imagine what it would have been like to live out here.
There are a lot of old buildings in the township itself. There are some ruins.
There's like half knocked down houses and bakery and general store and all that.
And of course the pub. Now the guys have put a lot of time, effort and money into the place, so it's good that we come in, stop here, grab some food, grab a beer and take the time to check out all the work that's been done.
Yeah, once again, the group's bonding more and more every day, and we had some great laughs out the front of the pub. We had the local pale ale and a little bit of a snack before heading into Warraweena.
We had a toasted sandwich and some vegetable soup there. Just sat on the veranda, pictured ourselves back in the day. It was awesome.
Join us next week as we make our way to Warraweena, through wet tracks and sharp rocky trails, all to conquer the second highest peak in the Flinders Ranges.
We're taking you from here all the way there.
What part of Australia do you consider to be the most breathtaking? Click here to see some stunning views of the Blue Mountains.